Marcus Chen had seen many strange things during his 5 years as Earth's liaison officer on the Terran-Xyloth border station, but nothing prepared him for the Xylothian widow standing at his apartment door at 300 hours, her crystalline features streaked with bioluminescent tears. "Please," Serathix whispered, her voice carrying the melodic undertones typical of her species. "You are my only hope." Marcus rubbed his eyes, still groggy from sleep. The corridor lights cast her 7-foot frame in harsh relief, making her seem even more otherworldly than usual. Her skin shimmered with the iridescent scales that marked her as nobility among the Xylothians, but those scales were now dimmed with grief. "Sarah? What's wrong? Come in." He stepped aside and she ducked through the doorway designed for humans, her movements graceful despite her size. Inside his modest quarters, she settled onto the reinforced couch he'd requisitioned after befriending several Xylothian diplomats, her forearms folded in a gesture of supplication that Marcus had learned meant deep respect or desperate need. "My mate, Kethron, died 3 cycles ago in the mining accident on Proxima 7, she began, her large amber eyes fixed on him. "By our laws, I have 1 lunar cycle to find a new partner and conceive, or I lose everything. My status, my lands, my late mate's legacy. More importantly, my existing children will be declared without clan protection." Marcus felt his heart sink. He knew about the accident. It had killed 17 Xylothian miners and 3 humans, but he hadn't known Sarah's husband was among them. "I'm so sorry for your loss," he said carefully. "But Sarah, why come to me? Surely there are Xylothian males." "There are," she interrupted, her voice hardening. "Males who circled like carrion birds the day after Kethron's death. Males who want my lands, not my heart. Males who would treat my existing children as burdens." Her scales rippled with distress. "But I remembered something Kethron told me before he died." She leaned forward, and Marcus caught the scent of ozone and honey that Xylothians naturally produced. "He said that of all species in the Alliance, humans possess something unique. You call it stubbornness, but we recognize it as an unbreakable will to protect those you claim as your own. He said he watched you fight for 3 hours in council to secure educational benefits for the half-breed children of mixed marriages. He said you made enemies of powerful people that day, but you never wavered." Marcus remembered that session. It had been brutal, but he couldn't stand watching kids denied basic rights because of their parentage. Kethron said if anything happened to him, I should seek out Marcus Chen. He said you would understand what it means to be family, regardless of blood. The weight of her words settled over the small apartment. Marcus walked to his kitchenette and started brewing coffee, needing something familiar to ground himself. His mind raced through the implications. "Sarah, I'm honored that Kethron thought so highly of me, but genetic compatibility is not an issue," she said quickly. "Xylothian reproduction is adaptive. Our medical scans show a 73% compatibility rate, higher than many Xylothian pairings. The children would be hybrid but healthy. The geneticists confirmed it." Marcus turned, coffee forgotten. "You already had me scanned?" She had the grace to look embarrassed, her scales shifting to a darker hue. "I had to know if this was even possible before I came to you. I would not have asked if it were not." He studied her face, seeing past the alien features to the desperation and grief underneath. She wasn't just asking him to father her children. She was asking him to step into a dead man's shoes, to become a parent to kids who had already lost so much. "Tell me about your children," he said finally. Sarah's entire demeanor transformed. Her scales brightened as she pulled up a holographic display from her wrist device. 2 young Xylothians appeared, both smaller than their mother but already showing the same iridescent quality to their scales. Kira is 8, and Mix is 5. "They ask for their father every day." Her voice cracked. "I cannot bear to tell them that not only is he gone, but we may lose our home too." Marcus sat down beside her, studying the images. The kids looked happy in the recording, playing some kind of game with glowing orbs. What would this arrangement entail exactly? Partnership bond under both human and Xylothian law. Co-parenting rights and responsibilities for all children, present and future. Joint ownership of my hereditary lands on Xyloth Prime. And, she hesitated, mutual obligation to defend and honor each other as life partners. It was insane. They barely knew each other beyond diplomatic pleasantries. But as Marcus looked at those 2 kids in the hologram, then at Sarah's grief-stricken face, he thought about what his grandmother used to say. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's who shows up when everyone else walks away. He thought about the 3 human crew members who died alongside Kethron. They had families too. Families who would be taken care of because the Alliance had finally passed those protection laws he'd fought for, because someone had been stubborn enough to care. "I have conditions," Marcus heard himself say. Hope flared in Sarah's eyes like a sunrise. "The kids come first, always. I won't be some legal guardian in name only. If I do this, I'm all in as their father." "Yes," she breathed. "And we do this right. Counseling, cultural training for both of us. Education about each other's species. I won't stumble through this blind." "Agreed. And you have to promise me something else, Sarah. Someday when the grief isn't so raw, we try to make this a real partnership. Not just a legal arrangement. Your late husband deserves that legacy. A family that actually cares for each other." Sarah Thick stood, all 7 feet of her, and extended her 4 arms in the traditional Xylothian embrace offer. "Marcus Chen, you honor Kethron's memory and his faith in humanity. I promise to build something worthy of that trust." As Marcus stood and awkwardly navigated the 4-armed hug, he couldn't help but smile despite the absurdity of his new reality. Tomorrow he'd be signing documents to become an instant father of 2 alien children, with more on the way. But tonight he was just a human being who showed up when someone needed him. That, he figured, was the most human thing of all.